It has been 27 months since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, during which the global community has exerted significant pressure to dissuade further escalation. NATO alliance countries have implemented numerous sanctions targeting Russia's economy, energy sector, military, and political elite. Despite these efforts, Putin's regime appears largely unaffected by the sanctions. Amidst the focus on Ukraine, Russia has managed to forge new geopolitical alliances and execute strategic maneuvers unnoticed. The West and Russia are engaged in a fierce economic struggle, with each side leveraging its strengths. While the West imposes financial sanctions and increases oil prices to penalize Russia for its actions, Russia utilizes its abundant natural resources, particularly oil and gas, to retaliate. A recent example is the production cut agreement between Russia and Saudi Arabia, which significantly reduced global oil supply, leading to a sharp price increase. This surge in oil prices, reaching over $94 per barrel, has profound ramifications for Western economies already grappling with inflation. Higher oil prices translate to elevated energy costs, thereby driving up the prices of goods and services. Consequently, central banks are compelled to raise interest rates to mitigate inflation, potentially slowing economic growth and even inducing recession in some countries. This is evident in the inflation and interest rate data of the US and EU, where inflation has surged to 3.7% in the US, and the European Central Bank has raised interest rates to 4%, despite the EU being in a recession. The energy supply's significant influence on economic conditions underscores Russia's adeptness at exploiting this power to challenge the West. However, Russia is not content with its current standing in the Arctic. It harbors grander ambitions of asserting dominance over the region, which harbors vast reserves of oil and gas. According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, the Arctic is estimated to hold approximately 90 billion barrels of oil, constituting 13% of the world's known oil reserves. Additionally, it possesses around 30% of global gas reserves, largely untapped. These resources are valued at trillions of dollars, and the first entity to access them will gain a significant advantage in the global energy market. Consequently, the Arctic has become a focal point of competition among major powers such as the US, EU, and Russia. Russia, in particular, is at the forefront of this race and is collaborating with China to secure natural gas from the region. Reports suggest that Russia's Arctic 2 LNG project is poised to have commenced production around 2023. This ambitious endeavor aims to extract abundant natural gas reserves from the Arctic and export them to global markets. Should Russia succeed in controlling oil and gas resources in the Arctic, it would rival energy giants like Saudi Arabia and Qatar in production capacity. Such a scenario would complicate the West's ability to sanction Russia or impose restrictions on oil prices. The Arctic race transcends mere financial gain, it signifies geopolitical dominance and influence. Recent years have underscored the reality that control over commodities equates to control over global affairs. However, Russia's interest in the Arctic extends beyond economic motives. The region holds strategic significance for its military and naval operations. According to a report from the U.S. Department of Defense, Russia has been bolstering its military presence in the Arctic, constructing new bases, enhancing existing ones, deploying advanced weapons systems, and conducting military exercises. Russia views the Arctic not only as vital for national security but also as a potential arena for conflict, particularly with NATO members. Furthermore, the West's rapid transition to green energy plays into Russia's hands. Control over energy production and export translates to authority over global economic growth. Recognizing this, Russia allocated over $300 billion to its Arctic ventures in 2020, investing in infrastructure for oil and gas extraction beneath the ice. The potential returns from this investment are staggering, with the oil and gas reserves alone valued at $35 trillion, excluding substantial deposits of gold and base metals. Thus, Putin's Arctic investment could yield returns ranging from 10 to 100 times the initial investment, elevating Russia's status as a global commodity powerhouse. The implications of Russia's Arctic ambitions are profound, particularly for the West. Containing Russia's influence is poised to become exceedingly difficult, as any attempts at sanctions or oil price regulations could be met with retaliatory production increases. Moreover, Russia's supply dominance would extend not only to BRICS countries but globally, further solidifying its position. The Arctic race is thus crucial, not solely for economic benefits, but also due to its strategic and geopolitical ramifications. The Arctic's pivotal shipping routes, like the Northern Sea route connecting Europe and Asia via the Arctic Ocean, underscore its importance for Russia and the wider world. This pathway offers a shorter, more economical, and safer route compared to traditional ones like the Suez Canal or the Strait of Malacca. Russia has been actively developing and advocating this route as an alternative to those predominantly controlled by Western powers, attracting more clients, particularly from China, its primary Arctic partner. Russia has also bolstered its military and security presence in the region, deploying additional troops, naval vessels, submarines, aircraft, missiles, and establishing new bases and radar stations. While Russia claims to be safeguarding its national interests and sovereignty in the Arctic, some of its actions have been perceived as provocative and aggressive by other nations, notably the US and NATO, which have their own strategic interests and alliances in the area. With over half, 53%, of the Arctic Ocean coastline under its jurisdiction and approximately 2.5 million Russians residing in Arctic territories, Russia maintains established communities in the region. In terms of Arctic access, Russia holds a strategic advantage compared to countries like Canada, the US, and Finland. More access translates to greater control over Arctic sea routes, essential for transporting extracted oil and gas efficiently. Russia's geographic positioning grants it almost complete control over the Northern Sea route, enabling streamlined transportation of energy resources from the Arctic to Europe or Asia. By utilizing this route, Russia has significantly reduced the distance for transporting energy resources to Asia by approximately 40%, facilitating quicker and cost-effective shipments to countries like China and India. This development holds significant implications for Putin's administration, as Russian vessels are already leveraging the Northern Sea route for trade, resulting in a considerable reduction in voyage time to China. While environmental concerns remain, Russia's primary focus lies in dominating energy trade routes, aiming to expedite shipments to lucrative Asian markets to enhance revenue. As Russia shifts its focus away from Europe, the EU's reliability as a customer becomes increasingly uncertain. It's probable that Russia will accelerate the development of this Arctic trading route, ramping up gas and oil production and prioritizing shipments to Asia. Amidst these developments, the question arises: can the West impede Russia's plans? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment section below.